Welcome to this edition of From the Vault. It's presented by the Canadian Motorsport Hall of Fame. We once again go back into our library and showcase some of this country's historic races. Today we're going back to 1990 and look at two Formula Atlantic races. The Canadian Formula Atlantic Series was a proving ground for many F1 and IndyCar racers. First up, we go to Montreal. Claude Bourbonnais sits on the pole, and we get to see Ron Fellows in an open-wheel car.
The Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, named after Canada's greatest racer. This week, the site of the series that gave Gilles his start, Formula Atlantic. And this man, Claude Bourbonnais, hopes to make his mark here in front of his hometown fans. Brian Till, the American, leads the Formula Atlantic Eastern Division. He hopes to add to his points today. Scott Harrington will start on the first row and hopes to drive his Swift to a victory here in Montreal. Last year's Eastern champion returns to action, but with a sore hand. But if his smile is an indicator, Jocko Cunningham may be prepared to win again. Everyone, and welcome to Montreal. It's the Canadian Grand Prix weekend here at Ile Notre Dame, and we are here to bring you round three, the Players Limited Formula Atlantic Series. I'm Jerry Dobson, and joining me is Paul Chater. And what a story developing here, Paul. Qualifying unbelievably tight, the top four guys within 0.2 of a second.
And the hometown favorite, Claude Bourbonnais, sitting on the pole. Behind him, three of the finest Formula Atlantic drivers on the continent, Jocko Cunningham, Brian Till, and Scott Harrington. Cunningham and Harrington have in fact won Formula Atlantic races on this very track. Brian Till is leading the Eastern U.S. Formula Atlantic Championship. All three of them are driving Swifts, and Claude Bourbonnais, who drives a Reynard, admits that even the Swift is swifter.
Okay, well, we'll have to wait and see. It can't get any closer than it is right now. Let's take a look at the starting grid. Today's fastest qualifier, Claude Bourbonnais, hails from Ile-Perrot, just outside Montreal, and he's a huge fan favorite. Claude receives the Sunoco Gold Fastest Qualifier Award for his inspired drive to start on the pole.
Beside Claude is Scott Harrington from Louisville, Kentucky. He was only 6/100ths of a second slower than Bourbonnais.
Starting in the second row, Brian Till. He has had a long-running battle with Bourbonnais all year, and they should continue it today.
Jocko Cunningham has missed much of this year due to a nagging hand injury. He's back, ready to race and ready to win.
Starting in the fifth spot, Claude Bourbonnais' teammate in another Reynard 90H is 28-year-old Freddie Remrev.
Rounding out the top six is veteran Robert Kaneda, an orthopedic surgeon by profession.
Row 5 has last year's Canadian champion in car number 86, that's Frank Allers.
Starting on the outside of row 6, young Canadian Jason Holhouse.
Row 8, a couple of Canadians to watch, Ron Fellows and Christian Vandal. The Players Limited Formula Atlantic Series is brought to you in part by Sunoco Gold and Yokohama Performance Radial Tires.
From the Vault is brought to you by M-Zone. Premium auto care, proudly owned and made by Canadians. By Recap Recovery Drink. By WeatherTech. For the perfect fit and ultimate in-vehicle protection, nothing protects like WeatherTech. Order online at weathertech.ca. And by the Canadian Motorsport Hall of Fame. Visit our website for hall merchandise.
Today, Paul, the standing start, one of the most exciting in auto racing.
It's exciting and it's dangerous. Most races are started on a rolling start. This way the cars are stopped on the grid. They will get a red light. It'll come on first, giving them a few seconds of warning. There's a red light, waiting now for a green light. The car's revving their engines. There's the light. The car's all underway, and they have chase vehicles behind them just in case someone stalls. It looks like they've gotten away cleanly, and Claude Bourbonnais is out front in car number 4.
Indeed, it is Bourbonnais in the lead. A clean start, no problem whatsoever. That's very important, and very important for Bourbonnais. Car number 4, he is in the lead, followed closely by Scott Harrington.
Jocko Cunningham is running in third, and Freddie Remrev is about to move up. He's trying to pass Brian Till on the inside. There's Remrev under braking, and he's moved into fourth now. Back with the leaders, number 4, Claude Bourbonnais. The blue and white helmet in the red car behind him directly is Scott Harrington. He's also in a red car, but he has a plain white helmet. He's easy to pick out.
Claude Bourbonnais comfortably in front right now. Conditions very good here today. It's a cloudy day, but the track is dry, so there will be no problems with tires unless we get some unexpected rain. But for now, Claude Bourbonnais comfortably in front. Scott Harrington right behind him.
And Jocko Cunningham, the defending series champion, is running in third place. He hasn't run in the entire season so far this year, so it's almost impossible for him to repeat as the victor. But his two chief rivals for the championship this season are running in front of him. Claude Bourbonnais out front in car number 4, and Scott Harrington in second place.
Good driving by Claude Bourbonnais for the moment at least. He's comfortably in front, Harrington right behind him. And oh, there's a problem. That's Jason Hallhouse, and he's in a bad spot right in the middle of the track. Look, he's got a steering wheel in his hand. They got to get him off the track. There he goes, but his day's finished, no doubt about that.
That's too bad for the young Canadian driver. He has a lot of promise. The top 3 cars, Bourbonnais out front, Scott Harrington in second place, and Jocko Cunningham in third spot.
And there's Freddie Remrev in fourth. A little trouble on that corner as he was really loose coming around there.
And there's the car of Greg Winkman. He spun on the circuit, but he must have put the clutch in. He kept it running. Let's have another look at it. Way across the grass, really messed up the corner badly, spun the car around backwards, and Jason Hallhouse is still stalled on the circuit. That'll bring out the pace car.
And there you can see the pace car leaving the track. The cars are back out on there. We've got the yellow flag, but we're just about set for the green. We'll soon be racing. There we go. The green flag is down. The cars are racing. Bourbonnais in front, Scott Harrington behind him, followed by Jocko Cunningham and Freddie Remrev.
Boy, Bourbonnais did a fine job of anticipating that green flag. He just rocketed into a lead right from the beginning. But Harrington seems to have caught him a little bit through the western hairpin as we see the cars making their way through now. Running in third spot, Jocko Cunningham, and Freddie Remrev has taken advantage of the yellow flag and moved up tighter into fourth spot behind Cunningham. We got a great 4-car race going.
So it is indeed fairly close. There you see Bourbonnais comfortably in front. That's Scott Harrington in behind him, but Cunningham and Remrev are right there as well.
There's number 24, Greg Winkman again. He's had no luck today. He spun and now appears to have lost all power to his car, and he's pulled it off onto the escape road.
So that'll be just about it for Greg Winkman today. But meanwhile, there's your leader. That is Bourbonnais, followed by Harrington. Jocko Cunningham is right in behind them. Oh, Bourbonnais touched on the side there a little bit. A little rough driving by him.
Bourbonnais got the only Reynard in the front running pack of cars. All the others behind him, as we predicted, were Swifts. But so far, he's been able to hold them at bay.
What about this circuit here, Paul? It's a little bit bumpy. I know they've got plans to repave it. The drivers might be a little bit worried about that.
Particularly since they're driving ground effects cars. That sucks the car down onto the road, stiffens up the suspension, makes the ride much harsher on the driver. Your head gets bounced around. You feel like all the fillings are going to come out of your teeth. These are very difficult cars to drive on a bumpy circuit like this one.
And you know, I think that Harrington has closed the gap between him and Bourbonnais. He's tucked right in behind, very close here now. Harrington right in behind.
Harrington is trying to use the draft behind Bourbonnais to slingshot by him, but you have to be careful drafting in an open-wheel car with the wings on the front. The front wing will lose some of its downforce in that draft, so you can't get up too close, or the front wheels get very light. Look at this at the hairpin.
Oh, that was a problem for Jocko Cunningham there with the braking, and Freddie Remrev moved into third spot right in behind Harrington, as you see Bourbonnais in front. And have a look at that again as you'll see. Oh, yeah, all right, Paul.
Cunningham left his braking far too late. He locked up the wheels, and of course, when the wheels are locked, you can't turn the car, which throws him way out wide into the corner, and Remrev pulls to the inside, takes perfect advantage of a mistake by Jocko Cunningham.
So a mistake by one driver and some smart driving by Freddie Remrev as he moves into third spot. Good driving there, Freddie. Meanwhile, it's Claude Bourbonnais still in front, and that's Harrington in behind. Freddie Remrev now in third.
And he's pressuring Scott Harrington. Remrev, of course, is Bourbonnais' teammate. So we've got a Reynard, a Swift, and another Reynard. There's Remrev, number 27, and he's pushing hard in third spot.
This circuit here is 4.3 kilometers long. Lots of places to pass. Let's take you through it now with Frank Allard.
Right from the standing start on the start-finish line. There's Frank's view of the circuit. Hard on it. Accelerating all the way through the first turn from the start. They'll be braking heavily here in subsequent laps. Left-hander, quick flick to the right. This is called the Western Hairpin. There are many good opportunities to pass on this circuit. Now we're getting into the very twisty portion on the back part of the track. Let's listen to Frank work through his 5-speed gearbox. Of course, the home to the Formula One cars, this is a very demanding circuit. It's set up for Formula One Grand Prix style driving, and that's certainly what they're doing here in the Formula Atlantic cars. You can see Frank is working the wheel very hard down this long straight, approaching 170 miles an hour down here, lined in walls underneath the bridge and then hard on the brakes. This is a good place to pass. It's a chicane, quick right, then left, back up through the gears and hard on the throttle once again. The best place to pass on this whole circuit, going into the far hairpin. It's a very tight corner. Down from 5th gear, right down to 2nd gear. Swing it wide all the way to the left and then back up through the gears. This is a very fast portion of the circuit and it's very scary. These bends can be taken flat out if you're brave. And Frank's brave. He didn't lift off the throttle, not once, all the way through there. Hard on the brakes. Another very fast combination. Right, left. And down onto the start-finish straight. That's a lap here at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve.
All right, we are back now to the race. Claude Bourbonnais has extended his lead. It's very large right now. He's running away from the rest of the field, leaving Harrington, Remrev, and Cunningham to fight it out now for second place. Bourbonnais is really pulling ahead here. He knows this track, obviously.
Freddie Remrev, currently running in third, is really pushing hard on Harrington, who's directly in front of him in the red car. I think we should watch Remrev closely.
So the battle here could be for second spot as Remrev is really doing a number right there on the tail end of Scott Harrington. Bourbonnais is really out of the picture now. It's all his, but there's a good battle for second. Scott Harrington hanging on.
Harrington and Remrev actually slowing each other down, which is allowing Bourbonnais to get farther out ahead.
From Le Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, our coverage of the Players Limited Formula Atlantic Series continues in just a moment. Claude Bourbonnais in the lead. They're enjoying Claude Bourbonnais' performance way out in front of Scott Harrington right there and Freddie Remrev.
We've got a great battle going for second place. Well, Bourbonnais just charges away from this race. There's Scott Harrington, 61-27, Freddie Remrev. There's Jocko Cunningham at number 22, Brian Till throwing sparks out. His car's bottoming out. It could be because he's got an excessive fuel load and he's tightened the suspension down to take care of this very bumpy circuit. Of course, he's got a magnesium skid plate underneath the car, which is what is throwing the sparks back. It's not serious.
And a look from inside the car of Brian Till right now. It is a rough ride as he chases last year's champion, Jocko Cunningham.
You can see how badly messed up the lens of this camera already is. It's actually tire particles off the tires of the car in front. These very super sticky, slick tires actually decompose as they're going around the circuit, and they throw back what the drivers refer to as marbles. That's what's sticking to the camera lens.
And you know, Brian Till there, car number 22, is quite a story. He actually works in public relations for his sponsor, Sisapa, and he talked about the importance of good sponsorship.
I think today, more than at any other time, the business sense is critical in racing. It's no longer the time of the good old boy who can just go out and drive the car fast. It's not that way anymore. When we're in a sport where in Formula One we're talking tens of millions of dollars to run a team, and IndyCar is millions and millions of dollars, you don't want to pay a driver who can just drive the car fast. He has to be a key in your marketing plan for the sponsors. You need to be able to take that driver out of the race car at the end of the day, throw him in a tuxedo and take him to a cocktail party and have him represent that sponsoring company accordingly. Otherwise, you're spending a lot of money just to make the car go around the racetrack fast, and that's not what it's about in racing nowadays. It's a complete marketing tool, and the driver has to be a part of that.
Well, despite all the sparks, Brian Till is still a big part of this race right now. He leads the overall point standings, and right now he's in a battle with Jocko Cunningham for fourth.
And Freddie Remrev is pushing very hard again on Scott Harrington, who's running in second place. Meanwhile, we should not forget the leader, Claude Bourbonnais. He's not in the picture because he's not in the picture in this race. He's so far ahead.
Bourbonnais having it all his way right now.
There's second place, a red car, Harrington, followed by Freddie Remrev, then Jocko Cunningham and Brian Till. We watch their battle now from the air.
A real good battle right now between those two. There is Jocko Cunningham in car number 1 and car number 22, Brian Till. And there's Harrington, followed by Remrev.
Brian Till still throwing out some sparks from car number 22 as he chases down Jocko Cunningham. Now look at this. Freddie Remrev is going to have a run at Harrington going into the hairpin.
But meanwhile, there's Bourbonnais way out in front of all of them. He's got it all to himself. And coming around, there we go.
Remrev left his braking way too late, tried to go around the outside, locked his brakes up, and then tried to dive on the inside of Harrington. Now it's a drag race, and he's done it. Freddie Remrev actually messed up that hairpin quite badly, but he probably scared Harrington to the point where Harrington backed off the throttle, and Remrev has now moved into second place and pulling away.
Well, quite a turn of events there between Freddie Remrev and Scott Harrington as we have a look at it one more time.
Going into the east hairpin, the white car is Freddie Remrev. Watch him in car 27. He moves to the outside, an unusual way to try to pass. Harrington braked first, however, locked up his brakes. Freddie went way wide, locked up his tires as well, but he slipped by. There was the key. He got by on the inside, and Harrington backed off the throttle, and Freddie Remrev ended up in second place.
And not only is he in second, he's well in front of Scott Harrington, well in front of him. So Freddie Remrev still has some ground to catch up to Claude Bourbonnais, but he's in pretty comfortable position here.
He's also driving a Reynard. Wow, look at this, a big slide through that corner. He's done it again. He's pushing very hard. That's given an opportunity for Harrington, Cunningham, and Till to move up a little closer on Remrev. He just gave away some of that lead he built up.
So Remrev all over this track, and it has narrowed considerably. As you can see, that Scott Harrington is right in behind him almost now. Look at that. He has closed the gap.
It's quite possible that Remrev has used up his tires this early in the race. He was driving very aggressively right from the start. Look at this. Harrington's going to have a run at him. Nope, not quite. I think he was probably just having a look and letting Freddie know that he's back there and that he's capable of passing him again.
Look at them. 1, 2, 3, 4 all together there. They're all over Freddie Remrev, trying desperately now to hold on to second place. Way out in front is the leader, Claude Bourbonnais.
There goes Harrington. He has a look up the... Oh, boy, everybody's got their brakes on all the wrong place. Oh, no, there goes Harrington, number 61. Right off his line and upside down off the track. He's fortunately all right. He's taken the steering wheel off in a hurry so he can get himself out of there.
So he looks to be okay, but a disaster here for Scott Harrington. Upside down. He's disgusted with this turn of events, and of course, it brings out the yellow flag. We'll look again to see what happened here.
Okay, Harrington in the red car gets on his brakes. Right behind him, Cunningham locks his brakes up. Harrington cuts right back across Brian Till, drove over his front tire, and that is what flipped the car upside down.
So very fortunate. You can see how that roll bar saved the day there as Harrington is okay, but that could have been a disaster.
Let's see it now from Brian Till's point of view. Look at this. We can see on his left, Cunningham has locked up the wheels, and we'll watch Harrington come right straight across him. There wasn't anything Brian Till could do. And in open-wheel cars, when you make contact between those tires, somebody is going to end up upside down. And this time, it was Scott Harrington.
Okay, so they right the car, but you know, the big loser in all of this, really, apart from that man right there, Scott Harrington, could be the leader, Claude Bourbonnais, because his huge lead will now disappear. He'll still hold the lead, but he's got nothing left of it.
The pace car is off the track. The yellow flag is still out. The driver's waiting for a green. There it is, and Claude Bourbonnais in car number 4 is right back at work, and Jocko Cunningham is having a run at Freddie Remrev.
And there he goes. He gets by him for second place. So Jocko Cunningham now takes over second. Remrev is right there on his tail. And Bourbonnais still holds the lead, but it's not as substantial as it was before that caution.
That was a case of Cunningham anticipating that green flag and getting on the throttle just an instant sooner because he outdragged Freddie Remrev into the first turn.
And a look at the in-car camera of car number 86, that's Frank Allers, and in front of him in the distance there is another Canadian, Christian Vandal, and he knows this track. Vandal is also from Île-Perrot, Quebec, like Claude Bourbonnais.
There are the 3 cars. There's Vandal, there's Allers right in the middle, and Ron Fellows directly behind him. Peering over Frank Allers' shoulder once again as he chases down Christian Vandal. There's a puff of smoke out of Vandal's car. He slows dramatically, and Allers just whips by on the inside. Frank Allers now running in 7th place. Christian Vandal having his first ever Formula Atlantic race here today.
Meanwhile, up at the front, there's Claude Bourbonnais, but all over him is Jocko Cunningham, just waiting, it seems, for the right moment to try and get by.
Look at how much Bourbonnais is snaking back and forth under braking, and Cunningham locked up his right front as well. He had the brakes on so late and so hard, but he's chasing hard behind Bourbonnais. Have to wonder now whether Bourbonnais has used up his tires in the early part of the race trying to build that huge lead, while Cunningham, who sat back and forth, 5th place, saved his tires a little longer, and he's got some left.
Well, it looks like Cunningham is stalking his prey, and there he goes. Does he get by him here?
It's a drag race
yes.
into the turn. Whoa, chopped right in front of him. Bourbonnais ran up over the curb.
Whoa, and we've got an accident. We've got a disaster here coming off that turn. That is Freddie Remrev. Hits the wall with a huge bang. He seems to be okay in the car there, but what a disaster here. The yellow comes out, of course.
Freddie hit that wall really hard. He looks a little glazed over. No wonder at the speed he rammed into the concrete.
Well, he is conscious, and we'll take a look and see what happened here on this pass by Cunningham.
On the outside, Cunningham now trying to out-drag Bourbonnais into the corner and just chops right in front of him. Bourbonnais gets a little rattled, runs over the curb, goes straight into the dirt, heads for the tire wall, but gets the car back onto the road. Meanwhile, you can see the marshals diving for cover because Remrev is already headed for the wall.
There he goes, cutting off Bourbonnais again. Bourbonnais goes wide off the track, and that must have rattled Remrev then, because Remrev, there you can see him, just out of your screen. Wow!
Boy, he hit hard. A burst of flame from the fuel, but fortunately the fuel cells in these cars will prevent, in most cases, a major fire. Now the marshals are attending to Freddie Remrev, trying to get him out.
So we have another yellow flag as they get Freddie Remrev out of the car. Jocko Cunningham now in the lead, and we will be back with more right after this. And so now a look at the final standings after this shortened race due to that unfortunate crash involving Freddie Remrev. Jocko Cunningham is the winner. Claude Bourbonnais, who had the lead all through this race, has to settle for second. Brian Till is third.
Robert Canita, the orthopedic surgeon, finishes in fourth place. He pretty well inherited that. Christian Vandal and Ron Fellows, good showings for the two Canadians today.
And especially a good showing for that man right there, Christian Vandal, because this was his first ever ride in a Formula Atlantic race, and he came from all the way in the back of the pack to finish 6th overall, and so he wins our Yokohama Yokomotion Drive of the Race. Christian Vandal from Ile Perrot, Quebec.
Starting 16 and finish 6, it's better than nothing, and I hope next time everything will run better.
But the man who is never short of a smile is your winner today, Jocko Cunningham. Second place goes to Claude Bourbonnais, who might have won this race very easily, except for some bad luck right here.
Let's have another look at it. There's Bourbonnais in the red car, Jocko Cunningham on the outside. They're dead even going into this corner. Bourbonnais actually has the line, but Cunningham cuts across in front of him, actually runs Claude up onto the curving. Bourbonnais goes off onto the dirt, and that's the end of his race. Here's another angle on it. They didn't make contact, but it rattled Bourbonnais enough to send him over the speed curbing. Then he kicked all the dirt onto the road. Remrev hit that and went into the wall. And Jocko Cunningham, a fine drive for a guy who started this race with a very sore hand.
Well, yeah, I mean, I can't wait for my hand to get better. It should only get better.
Family's coming along?
Yeah, I heard it the first session, and then I taped it up and managed not to catch it in the steering wheel since. And I could say my hand doesn't hurt at all right now.
Well done, Jack.
So the crowd here treated to quite a race. They loved every minute of it, and it was quite a race in spite of the finish. Our top three finishers now with the ceremonial champagne. Jocko Cunningham, the winner. That is Claude Bourbonnais in second, and Brian Till finishes third. Be sure to watch our coverage of Round 4 of the Players Limited Formula Atlantic Series from the Toronto Indy. The Formula Atlantic Series is brought to you in part by Sunoco Gold and by Yokohama Performance Radial Tires.
Coming up next, we'll head to British Columbia for Round 5 of the 1990 schedule. Westwood plays host.
Welcome to scenic Westwood Park near Vancouver for Round 5 of the Players Limited Formula Atlantic Series. Round 2 on the Race City Oval in Calgary. It was Mark Dismore with a daring move to get by Jovi Marcello for the victory. This celebration was to be the first of many for Dismore's team. Mark Dismore winning both Round 1 and 2 of this series, and he was truly the king of the hill. But here at Westwood, after 5 consecutive wins, Dismore's domination is threatened. And it's threatened by this man, Tom Phillips. Tom won an Atlantic race here in 1982 and sits on the pole today. Behind them both, Jovi Marcello has come to add his name to the Formula Atlantic winners list. From Westwood, BC, the Players Limited Formula Atlantic Series. Hello, everyone. I'm Jerry Dobson. Joining me once again is Paul Chater. A couple of very interesting stories developing here. We've got a relatively unknown driver on the pole, and Mark Dismore, who's won several races so far, is having trouble this weekend.
He's qualified well back, Jerry. And Tom Phillips, who is on the pole, has never had a pole position before. And even more surprising, Frank Allers, a driver we would expect to do well here. It's his home track. He blew up an engine in his car yesterday. He's had to rent a car now to drive in the race. We have no idea how he's going to do. A lot of question marks this afternoon. Here is Frank Allers in his rented Swift, a much faster car than his 1985 Ralt. He is qualified 8th. Frank's main goal today is to clinch the Canadian Championship.
The main object today is to just basically finish the race, and we can wrap up the Players Atlantic Series. But I'd like to have a good finish too.
Starting second fastest would be satisfying for almost anyone, but Mark Dismore is unhappy. He's used to being first, and he's concerned.
You're worried anytime you're not the fastest car, and like they say, I mean, for every time you win and you keep that string going, it just means you're one closer to a loss, and I hope this isn't it.
And Tom Phillips is our Sunoco Gold fastest qualifier today here at Westwood. The yellow number 5 Swift will hope to interrupt Mark Dismore's string of victories here.
And beside Tom is a man who has had it all his way this season. There is Mark Dismore.
Third quickest is Tom Hunter Jr. He is Dismore's teammate, and he's capable of winning here.
One of Formula Atlantic's brightest talents, Jovi Marcello, will start 4th.
28-year-old Pate Hidalgo, who has shown well this season, will be looking for a podium spot today.
And the veteran racer Sandy Dells rounds out the top 6.
Row 4 has the yellow number 86 of Frank Allers. He's driving that rented Swift and could do well at Westwood.
Row 6 has Michael Buckingham. In his 1988 season, Michael finished top 5 in every event.
Row 8 has Canadian Trevor Siebert. The BC native is a regular in the Players Limited GM Motorsport Series.
Kelowna, BC's Greg Medrusiak will start his Ralt from the back of the pack. The Players Limited Formula Atlantic Series is brought to you in part by Sunoco Gold and by Yokohama Performance Radial Tires. 19 cars in the field. We're ready for the green light, and we'll have a race here.
It's a standing start, as all Formula Atlantic races. They're very dangerous. It's very dodgy, as the red light will come on first. There's the red light. The drivers revving their engines, waiting for the green, and we've got to start.
And away we go as the field takes off into the first corner here and into the carousel. It's called Dismore. A great start for him. He gets by Tom Phillips already.
He timed that start beautifully, dumped the clutch at exactly the right moment, didn't get too much wheel spin, and he's charged out ahead of Phillips. Tom Hunter is running in 3rd, and Jovi Marcello is back in 4th spot.
Mark Dismore, who's had difficulty finding the setup for this track, but he's out to an early start. Tom Phillips right in behind him.
Through Clubhouse Corner and heading into Valley Corner, now up Deers Leap. This is a long back straightaway. This is a narrow track. There are not very many good places to pass, but one of the best spots is at the end of this straightaway going into the hairpin.
And there you see Rick Hill in the orange car attempting a pass, but he's got to duck in behind. That didn't work at all for him.
Now in the S is Jovi Marcello trying to go by Tom Hunter Jr. Tricky part of the circuit, a very difficult place to pass down onto the front straightaway. Now Pate Hidalgo having a run at Jovi Marcello for 4th place on the front straightaway. It's a real fight for every position as they head into the carousel.
Back through the carousel, Dismore leads, but the real battle in behind him, that's Pate Hidalgo in 5th, and he's being pressured by Sandy Dells.
Through Clubhouse Turn, it's still Mark Dismore out front. Phillips is running in 2nd place. Through Valley Turn, onto Deers Leap one more time. Very fast portion of the track. The car gets very light coming up over the crest of this hill.
Mark Dismore in car number 20 is the leader, and Tom Phillips right behind him looking to pass if he can find the right moment.
Now Hunter tries to hold off Jovi Marcello and Pate Hidalgo into the hairpin.
And there goes Mike Berg in car number 9. He passes Mike Facetta for 10th spot, so a good move there for Berg. Your leader, Mark Dismore, and now there, look at that pass there. One step closer to Dismore goes Jovi Marcello as he gets by Hunter Jr.
Charging into the carousel, a corner that can be taken much faster than you would first think. It's quite banked, and it holds the car into the turn. They're allowed to swing wide right out to the edge of the speed curbing and keep the speed up. Now into Clubhouse Turn, the only real left-hander on this circuit. A little short straight onto Valley Corner and then up Deers Leap.
There's your leader once again, Mark Dismore in car number 20. In hot pursuit is Tom Phillips in the yellow car number 5. He's right on him now.
Tom Phillips has a look up the inside, but it's not a real serious attempt to pass here, just showing his nose to Mark Dismore to let him know that he can go by if he wants to.
Mark Dismore hanging on, Phillips right in behind. He's staying with him, but can he get by him? That's the question. Dismore, very difficult man to pass.
But Tom Phillips knows this track very well.
In '83, we came here and had a classic qualifying duel with Michael Andretti, as probably most people know about here by now. And Then we went off and did some other stuff, you know, as far as racing went. Didn't come here for a little while, and then we came back in 1986 and basically did the same thing that's happening this weekend, and then we had a car failure in the race. So, you know, granted, we can do all we can, but it's still racing. You know, you have to finish to win.
Phillips talks about car failure, and that could be a factor here because this course with these tight corners and high speed sections can be very difficult on cars, and Phillips continuing to press Mark Dismore.
It's not only tight and fast, but it's also very bumpy, and with the ground effects car, the drivers are literally having their eyeballs juggled around inside their head. It's very wearing on the driver as well as the machinery.
And there they go. You can see some of these tight corners here. Dismore continues to lead with Phillips right behind him, and it is extremely tight and difficult all the way through here.
He's in the draft as they crest Deers Leap the hill, and there goes Phillips. He's going to try on the inside, under braking. He's inside. Mark Dismore in car 20, and Phillips has got the lead in car number 5 into the hairpin.
A beautiful move by Tom Phillips on that hairpin turn. He gets by Mark Dismore, and he takes the lead now.
Now Dismore has to chase Phillips as he looks up the inside through the S's, heading down towards the front straightaway.
Tom Phillips, his first professional race was right here at Westwood, 1976, and his last win in 1982. He set a qualifying record, so Phillips does know this track, and he's stretching it out a little bit over Mark Dismore.
He has really been taking advantage after he got into the lead. Only 3 corners later, and you can see what an advantage he has gained already over Mark Dismore as they go through Valley Turn.
And a strange part of this course here, it's called Deer's Leap, and the reason it is called that is because there are a lot of deer in the area, and there's a yellow light that will activate if there's deer in the area, so we have to watch for that.
Phillips leading into the hairpin, and although he's stretching it, we can't count out number 20, Mark Dismore. He's looking to capture his 6th win in 6 starts in the Formula Atlantic Series. Jovi Marcello, meanwhile, is in 3rd.
There's your leader, Tom Phillips. Mark Dismore, car number 20 right behind him. There goes Jovi Marcello. And in behind is Tommy Hunter Jr. and Pate Hidalgo.
There's 8th place, Rick Hill, coming into the hairpin, and he lost it under braking. He's sideways in the middle of the track. He has lost it. Gibson gets by, Berg gets by, and Mark Singer all by, and Rick is going to continue, however.
Well, he does get back on the track, so he will continue the race, but serious trouble for him. And there is another smash up. That's the car number 15, Peter Fossetti. He's come to a stop, and now we see another one spinning out. Lee Shepherdson, so a problem for him too.
There must be some oil on that corner for both cars to go off so quickly. Tom Phillips really has his Swift working well today, though. Dismore is behind him, but not really too close at this stage.
But the real battle is for 3rd place. Jovi Marcello in car number 8 holds off Tom Hunter in car number 10. So Jovi, you know, a native of the Philippines, he's had a couple of finishes this year on the podium, and he's driving aggressively right now.
And heading into the pits, the leader, Tom Phillips. This is really a surprise. There goes Mark Dismore passing a slower car. He's inherited 1st place as Phillips is now very slowly coming down pit row.
A problem for Tom Phillips. Look at it. He's waving his hands there. He's got a serious problem on his hands, which really opens the door for Mark Dismore.
He's flipped up his visor and he's waving his crew off, so that has to be a serious problem. The belts are off. He's getting out of the car.
So the day has ended for Tom Phillips. Who knows? I mean, it doesn't look like an engine problem, no smoke or any leakage that we could see, but he's definitely out of the picture. Meanwhile, back at the front, there goes Dismore past a back marker there in the red car, and in behind that red car is Jovi Marcello in car number 8. He is in 2nd place.
Through the hairpin, Dismore leads Marcello, but Hunter and Hidalgo seem to be closing the gap a little. Dismore has let it be known that he has been unable to set up his car well for this weekend. He's not happy with it, and everyone wants to be first to beat Dismore in 1990.
Meanwhile, there goes the car of Tom Phillips. There's no doubt about it. You see them pushing it off. That's the end of the day for him. He's got to be upset with this.
The clutch exploded coming out of the hairpin, so I had to park the car, unfortunately.
Well, bad fortune for Tom Phillips, but good fortune for Mark Dismore, who takes over the lead once again because of the misfortunate incident there for Tom Phillips. And just behind him is Jovi Marcello.
And Marcello is gaining rapidly into Clubhouse Corner. We can see he's pulled up right behind, right underneath Mark Dismore's wing.
And so after 16 laps, Mark Dismore continues to lead. We'll be back right after this. Our leader continues to be Mark Dismore, who is undefeated this year, working on win number 6. He hopes. Right behind him, Jovi Marcello in the blue and white car number 8.
A young sensation from the Philippines. He's sponsored by his father's company based in the Philippines, but has chosen to race in North America. Right now, he is chasing down the number 20 yellow and white car of Mark Dismore. That's Jovi in car number 8, blue and white one.
Oh, and look at this. This is Pete Hidalgo taking third place there as Dismore's teammate. That was Tom Hunter Jr. He just seemed to roll to a stop there. There he is again. He's got a serious problem. So Pete Hidalgo rushes into third place.
Hunter in his number 10 Swift, another victim of the rather harsh track conditions.
Back to the lead. There's Mark Dismore. Jovi Marcello. There's no room at all between those two cars as Dismore is leading, but Marcello continues to press. His mirror must be full of Marcello's car.
Marcello has finished third and second in our first 2 rounds, and he seems poised now to take over the lead from Mark Dismore.
Well, perhaps Dismore is faltering just a little bit. You know, his crew must be concerned because Hunter is a teammate of Dismore. Hunter obviously had a mechanical problem, so if these cars are set up the same, we could be in trouble. And there's another car with problems.
The number 24 roll of Greg Mandrusiak of Kelowna, BC. He'll have to watch the rest of this race from the sidelines.
And it's a pretty good race right now. There's Dismore, car number 20. Jovi Marcello in behind, looking for the right spot in the track, the right moment in time to get by. Not on this corner, however.
Jovi tried on the outside. It's an unusual place. Dismore actually moved to the middle of the track to try to stop a pass from Marcello. He knows he's being threatened very seriously.
Jovi Marcello continues to press. Boy, he's close to him, and there he goes. Can he get by? He's trying it.
Down the front straight, he's pulled out of the draft. He's into turn 1 now, into the carousel, and he's got the advantage. Jovi Marcello now has the lead.
Great move by Jovi Marcello, who takes Mark Dismore on that move there. Now, has Dismore got a problem, or is Marcello just driving better right now?
Well, it's a combination of that and the fact that Marcello's car is working well. There's Canadian Frank Ehlers, who can wrap up the Canadian Championship here today on his last Atlantic race on his home track. Westwood is slated to become a housing subdivision after this season. After a long and very prestigious role in Canadian racing, Westwood is hosting its final season. It's a nostalgic moment for most of the local drivers, in particular this man, Frank Ehlers, who has had so many victories on this track.
Yeah, it's pretty sad, actually. It's a beautiful circuit. I think they could probably spend some money on it and make it wider and make it, competitive for quite a long time, but I guess housing's taken over, although I don't know how soon they're going to build the houses here.
Nestled between the BC mountains near Vancouver, Westwood celebrates its 31st year of racing in 1990. The first race held here was on July 26, 1959. The track has hosted many great champions of both Canadian and international racing.
Yeah, I enjoy this track. I've been coming here for a lot of years now. The track is probably the roughest I've ever seen it.
I wish it could stay longer. I wish we could do more races here.
And it's no wonder Jovi loves this track because he is way out in front now, in front of Mark Dismore. Dismore having some sort of problem perhaps, I don't know, but Jovi Marcello is really moving it out.
As soon as Jovi got into the lead, he started to stretch it. Now Dismore has fallen way off the pace, and Jovi's managing to carve his way through all the back markers.
Well, we've seen Dismore's teammate Hunter drop out, and Tom Phillips dropped out, the pole sitter. Dismore's car is probably set up much the same way as Hunter's, so who knows what's going on with Dismore.
Heading into the hairpin now, it's Jovi Marcello leading Mark Dismore, number 20.
And a couple of back markers in behind as we go through the hairpin turn. And we got a problem there for Marcello. He has spun out, and Dismore gets by, obviously, so a serious problem here for Jovi Marcello. What a disappointment that has to be.
It's an unusual place to spin so far out of the corner. Now he's going the wrong way. He gets the car off into the sand. He's trying to turn it around. He gets back onto the track. He's been passed. He's now back in 4th spot overall.
So what a problem for Jovi Marcello as he is, disaster for him from 1st to 4th all of a sudden. Meanwhile, out in front, Mark Dismore once again. Every time we turn around, Dismore's back in front.
Well, his car is definitely not the fastest today, but he certainly is a recipient of all the best luck that's running around. He's now back in the lead after Marcello's spin.
Mark Dismore in front, and because of Marcello's spin out, that moves Pete Hidalgo up into 2nd spot. Hidalgo was 3rd in round 2 at Calgary, so he's chasing Dismore, but Dismore's way out in front. There's a look at Hidalgo.
Hidalgo, an experienced racer, both on 4 wheels and 2 wheels. Was motorcycle racing for a number of years, and he's been in the Players Formula Atlantic Series lately.
And at the moment, he's trying to get around, that's car number 41, John Wink, a much slower car, obviously, so Hidalgo will wait for the right moment on the track here to get by. And there's a car with another problem. That's car number 55, Rick Hill, slowing to a stop on the track. This track is really hard on cars.
Now we watch the race for 3rd between veteran Sandy Dells and the number 70 Black Swift and Jovi Marcello, who led until just moments ago in the white and blue number 8. Marcello lost 3 positions, but he still seems to have the quickest car on the circuit.
Jovi Marcello trying to get back in this race. Mark Dismore way out in front. Marcello and Dells right now going at it.
And Dells, a 43-year-old, he's had a lot of racing experience, so he's probably not intimidated by this narrow track. And there goes Jovi Marcello.
Marcello drops to the inside to get by, and yeah, he did get by all right. No problem there for Jovi Marcello, who seems to have it all together here. Whoa, he doesn't have it all together there. He nearly lost it again.
Overcooked it in the same place on the track that cost him the lead. Now he's firmly into third place as they head into the S's.
Jovi Marcello back into third. Mark Dismore in front. There's a good look at Jovi Marcello as he cruises along here. He seems to have the car in good condition, in good shape for this track. Other cars are breaking down all over the place.
Back to the leader, the white car, number 20, Mark Dismore. He's inherited the lead from Tom Phillips, who dropped out earlier with mechanical problems. Then Jovi Marcello spun at the hairpin the first time. Dismore leads, and should he win, he would continue his unbeaten string this season.
Mark Dismore, an incredible performance, trying to get by. That's car number 22, Bob McGregor, a back marker that Dismore will try and get out of his way here momentarily, I would think.
Bob McGregor, a veteran racer here, and there's Sandy Dells, number 70, his hand up in the air. He was as high as third today. He seems to have a major mechanical problem. He parks it on the outfield, a tough break, and it's going to be a long walk back.
But it's good news for Frank Allers right there in car number 86, because he moves up to fourth, and he's having a real fine race here on his home track. There's the leader, Mark Dismore. In behind him is Pate Hidalgo, and behind Hidalgo is Jovi Marcello, and there comes Marcello, and he is really closing the gap on second spot. Obviously, Marcello's got the fastest car out here. At least he knows how to get the best out of it, because he is really moving up.
And he's pushing it right to the edge.
And so, after 39 laps, Mark Dismore continues to lead, but Jovi Marcello is moving up. We'll be back. Round 5 of the Players Limited Formula Atlantic Series. There is the leader, car number 20, Mark Dismore, hoping to join the long list of Formula Atlantic champions at this track, looking for his 6th straight win.
There have been some famous winners at this track. K.K. Rosberg, a former world champion, Jacques Villeneuve, and Michael Andretti. Now Mark Dismore is hoping to add Westwood to his list of victories, and it's the final race ever on this circuit for Formula Atlantic cars.
And there's Jovi Marcello right in behind Pate Hidalgo, looking to move up another spot. Hidalgo is in second, Marcello is in third.
Through the S's, heading towards the start-finish straight. Both Hidalgo and Marcello realize there's very little time left in this race. They're both driving quite aggressively. Dismore, meanwhile, is ahead, but mechanical difficulties have plagued many drivers, including Dismore's teammate, Tom Hunter Jr., so every position here is crucial.
We've had several cars drop out of this race. No serious accidents, just mechanical failure, it seems. This track is so hard on these race cars.
We're watching the battle for second and third place. That's Pate Hidalgo in car number 6. Number 8, Jovi Marcello, is gaining on him rapidly up the back straightaway.
Pate Hidalgo leading Jovi Marcello. You know, we talk about this track being so difficult on cars. What is it? Is it because it's so tight?
It's tight, it's narrow, it's very bumpy. And for a ground effects car, which has such good traction and is really glued down to the road, every little ripple feels like a major speed bump.
Okay, we are down to just 1 lap remaining, as you can see now, with Mark Dismore continuing to lead, and he is just a few corners away from another check for $10,000. Mark Dismore in car number 20. He's heading towards that hairpin turn one final time.
He must have his fingers crossed. He's trying to make it 6 for 6 in the Formula Atlantic Series, and he's only got a few hundred meters left.
Mark Dismore, he can taste it now. This would be 6 straight for him in this series. There's Jovi Marcello, and he looks like he's got a problem.
His car has slowed down dramatically, and Frank Allers is catching him.
Allers just went by me. You got over a half a lap lead. Just keep trying to make it back here.
But his car, it looks like he's not going to make it anywhere, and he's got to be worried now about Allers. Allers can get by him. He's coming around here very soon.
Marcello very slow. And there goes Frank Allers in the third spot in car number 86. Allers could win the Canadian Formula Atlantic, the Players Limited Cup, worth $75,000.
Meanwhile, car number 20, there is Mark Dismore taking the checkered flag. He's undefeated, 6 wins and 6 starts. There comes Pate Hidalgo for second place right there. And here comes Scott Gibson.
in 6th place, and he shredded his right rear tire. It's about to destroy his rear wing, and he gets across the line just in time.
What a job by him to finish this race. Frank Allers, though, finishes. Here he comes, a very respectable 3rd place, and clinches his 2nd Canadian title in as many years.
The clutch blew up.
There's the dejected Jovi Marcello, who has the win slip away in the hairpin, and then he blew a clutch on the last lap.
But full credit on this day goes to Mark Dismore, who finished 1st in a solid drive. And so there you go, the final standings. Mark Dismore wins it here. Pate Hidalgo finishes 2nd. Frank Allers finishes 3rd. And the winner of our Yokomotion drive of the race is the winner here today. Greenfield, Indiana's Mark Dismore. He drove very well here to capture his 6th win in 6 starts. What a job by Mark Dismore, a very happy man.
Some kind of curse to pass me today or something, I don't know. We just missed our setup, and I'll take credit for that because I'm the computer, and you know, the car's only as good as I can tell them to make it, and I missed, and we were just chasing our tails all week, and I don't know. Everybody passed me in brakes, so it was amazing, but I'll take it. You know, it's kind of a hollow deal, really. I mean, the other 5, I feel like I really won, you know, and this one I feel like, and they, you know, everybody gave it to me, but I mean, I'm happy.
Well, a win is a win, and the celebration continues here at Westwood for this man, Frank Allers, as he chooses his home track to capture the 1990 Players Limited Cup and $75,000 as top Canadian this season. The Players Limited Formula Atlantic Series is brought to you in part by Yokohama Performance Radial Tires and by Sunoco Gold.
When you talk Western Canadian racing in the 80s and 90s, Frank Allers' name was always in the conversation. He was inducted in 2005. If you think someone is worthy of induction to the Canadian Motorsport Hall of Fame, go to the website cmhf.ca to get induction info, and you can go to the CMHF store to get your Hall of Fame apparel. Thanks for watching this episode of From the Vault.
From the Vault is brought to you by M-Zone. Premium auto care, proudly owned and made by Canadians. By Recap Recovery Drink. By WeatherTech. For the perfect fit and ultimate in-vehicle protection, nothing protects like WeatherTech. Order online at weathertech.ca. And by the Canadian Motorsport Hall of Fame. Visit our website for Hall merchandise.